Hey folks, this is Sam Roberts.
Hey, this is Kim Mitchell.
This is Hannah Georges.
This is Matt Mee.
This is Derry Graham from Honeymoon Suite, and you are listening to...
You're listening to...
And you're listening to
The Hulk Caesar Show.
Welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show. I am your host, Hulk Caesar. My illustrious co-host, Newfoundland songbird Emily Malloy, is unable to join us this week. We'll see her again soon. The Hulk Caesar Show is brought to you by our friends at SNOW AND MOW. I booked an appointment this week to get some snow tires. You know what that means. Winter is just around the corner, and now is the time to reserve your commercial snow clearing service. Check out snowandmow.org to get your free quote today. Our first guest this evening is an education student at Memorial University and the editor-in-chief of the Muse, Mun's student newspaper. He's passionate about community media, student journalism, and civic engagement, and he's been an important voice for students on campus and beyond. You might recognize him from his About Town reporting on Instagram. An all-star, he first joined us all the way back in 2023 on terrestrial radio. John Harris, welcome back to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Hulk, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
John, why don't you first tell us how you got involved with the Muse?
So the Muse has been something I have looked to as a bastion of media in the province for ages. You know, I love peeling through the digital archives of Memorial University and looking at the past, 75 years of Muse excellence coming up in December, which is crazy. So I've always, you have some real heavy hitters coming up through Memorial University, guys like Rex Murphy. You have David Cochran, the current Power and Politics host on CBC. You have Ashley Fitzpatrick, another amazing journalist. Michael Connors, NTV anchor. There's going to be way too many to name, and if I miss some people, it's because there's dozens of you. But the Muse is just to me, has always been a dream of mine to work for there. Ever since I got involved with MUNSU, the student union, I was kind of I kind of like the other side of things too. And I like radio. I love media. I'm a news junkie. I love to read the news, and it's what I love about it is we're able to make the MUN community feel a little smaller, a little more connected. I think a lot of times I felt in the student union that MUN is kind of disconnected sometimes. You have all these different schools, different departments, different programs, and they don't always, you might not always come across them in the hallway. So things like the Muse are a way that we can kind of connect people across campus and connect what's going on at MUN with the rest of the community and what's going on in the community with the rest of MUN. So yeah, for me, that's why I joined the Muse.
When I was a young man back in the former millennium, we used to hang around this Thompson Student Center. There's an arcade in there, and there was a Muse box in the arcade, and you get your paper in there every week. It was quite the staple when I was younger.
Yeah, I mean, the Muse has been out of print since 2018, but this is the first time that I'm mentioning this publicly.
Ooh.
This is breaking news, really. We will be going back in print for a 75th anniversary edition in January.
Amazing.
So we are still in very early stages. I don't want to jinx it, but we have a team now at the Muse that are really committed about going back into print. We want to have at least a anniversary edition in print for the 75th anniversary of the Muse, which is coming up in December. The first edition was 1950, wow. December 1950.
Crazy.
So we're hopefully going to have that ready for the community by January 2026 to commemorate the 75th anniversary. So yeah, that's first. You heard it here first on the Hulk Caesar Show.
Amazing. Now, is there going to be an opportunity for community partners to purchase advertising in this?
Who knows? It's very early stages at the moment. I think we're probably gonna go for that route. But yeah, we're gonna have to talk to you to get some advice on that. I know. Well, I know for sure I'm a big fan of SNOW AND MOW, but there's also a lot of other great, Kitty Vitty Beer. There's a lot of great community partners out there.
Definitely.
But we'll see how that goes. Definitely excited to get it back in print for the first time in 7 years. It's still very early stages now. We're just kind of getting a team together now to focus on the print side because we want to still put out the digital articles regularly, put out our video content that we're doing, put out the Muse News podcast that we do. So yeah, that's that's what I'm looking forward to, though, is kind of, taking some of that community spirit into print yet again for the 75th anniversary.
We often see you on Instagram doing kind of on the spot questions at events and stuff. What's the reaction to that been like?
That's been super fun. I mean, I think that as much as it sucks to be out of print, we've also found different ways to connect with people because a famous, segment in the print edition was an edition called, or a segment called Mouth Off. So that Mouth Off would basically be what we do now in video form, but in print form. So you'd have different, points of view, quotes from students with their pictures, and they would give their opinion on the news of the day or the goings on at the university. So we basically just do that now, but in video form. And it's, we find that the algorithm is the way to connect with people now in a lot of ways. You have to get on people's reels and TikTok to even get anybody to click on your story.
We're still on MySpace. We don't even have the TikToks.
Wow, MySpace. Wow. Well,
he's a good friend.
Were you ever on Blue Cafe?
No, I know. I always knew of Blue Cafe. Yeah, it was like a local kind of thing, right? The servers are still up. I think just people still using it, I believe.
Yeah, I heard rumblings that it may have shut down, but Blue Cafe is an homegrown social media. I think that when you have the takeover of X by Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg's in the world, it wouldn't be a bad idea for Newfoundland to have its own Facebook or own social media.
That new one that came out, Blue Sky, for the longest time, I thought it was Blueski. I thought it was Russian social media. Honestly, I was like, why is everybody using this Blueski all of a sudden? And I was, Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
I still call it Blueski now. I can't get over it.
But yeah, so we're left, trying to just get on people's screens anyway. So we post on everything. We post on Blueski or Blue Sky.
I got you.
we post on X. We post on Reddit.
I was gonna say, I see you guys got a real strong presence on Reddit recently. Only like over the past year. What do you kind of attribute that to?
Yeah, Reddit to me is like the last news forum that you can have, because we can share stuff on Facebook, we can share stuff on Instagram, but because of the Meta Canadian news ban, we can't post links to our content because we're considered Canadian news, which we are, but we're a student paper. Yeah. We're not like any of those big guys, but we are unable to share our links on Facebook or Instagram. What we can do is tell you to go to the link in our bio and then you can get to our link. But that makes it a bit harder to get to people. Reddit is one of the last like news forums that you can post directly to the content, and their algorithm is really great for getting, if you're following r/Newfoundland or if you're following r/St. John's, you'll be able to find our stuff, right? So it's kind of convenient in that ways. I think sometimes we may overdo it and post too much on Reddit and get the mods mad at us. So we try to,
it's a fine line on Reddit.
And they're the most, Redditors are the most like the sharpest critics. Yeah. They are very, they can be a little unforgiving sometimes, but in general, it's a very kind of nice community on there. We
got real fragile egos, so we don't post a lot on Reddit.
That's the tough, because they will be tough. You got to take. Like, we roll with the punches. We've been critiqued on there before, but you know what? It's all in good. It's all in good spirit of commentary and comments and discussion. So we like to, a lot of our posts are a bit controversial, and that can create a lot of because we cover issues that are at the top of students' mind, like a lot of stuff on Palestine, a lot of stuff on work terms and tuition and stuff that people have high opinions on or strong opinions on. So it does lead to a lot of debate, but I think like we have to find those areas for debate and discussion, and I've been really liking trying to get those discussions going on various social medias.
We prefer old-fashioned suggestion box where you write your opinion on paper and put it in, but I only give access to me and Emily. So I don't know if it's honest feedback, but it's 100% positive.
Well, I was listening to Chris Batstone's podcast, A Face for Radio. Yeah. And Patty Daly was the guest, and he used to have a show on CHMR where he'd write his own emails to himself, and it's kind of hilarious. He'd give out an email that didn't exist,
Fantastic.
but he'd be reading out his emails as if it was a fan feedback, and you'd have himself, getting in arguments with himself. So that's a funny little anecdote. You could maybe write some strongly worded letters to Hulk Caesar yourself.
Oh, I like that. All right, let's take a quick break from their appearance on the program back in April. It's the lovely With Violet and The Things You Didn't Say on the Hulk Caesar Show.
I didn't lay the cards I was holding. Took so long, the sky turned from black to golden. Lemonade, the smell of your perfume fades away. Every step I take, I look back and say I should have laid the cards I was holding. The sign said you're open, but I stood there hoping. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain, another day won't miss the things you didn't say. Cards he was holding took so long, the sky turned from black to golden. Marmalade, a modern day, he missed out with Daisy. Now he's left with love lost in days he spends whistling dial tones and the songs that she showed him. And the sign says you're open, but I stood there open. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain, another day won't miss the things you didn't say. Sign said you're open, but I stood there open. When you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain, another day when you wait too long and the lights go out and you're left standing in the rain, another day won't miss the things you didn't say.
We are back on the Hulk Caesar Show, brought to you by our friends at SNOW AND MOW. We're chatting with editor-in-chief of the Muse, John Harris. Now, John, Memorial University has seen a lot of changes recently. What's your take on the new president and the ongoing funding cuts?
Well, I had a chance to talk to new president, Dr. Janet Morrison, for our podcast coming out. It should be out by the time this one's out. So on Muse News, and we had a great conversation. I think she does come from a university that did recently cut a lot of programs. So
where'd she come from?
She came from the Sheridan College from a college that cut a lot of programs. So she's kind of used to the facing huge budget cuts. I felt that she was very frank in our conversation. So I think whatever is going to happen, I think it needs the utmost of transparency. Recently we had the Harris Center closed down, which to me, I think was like a part of the university that did a lot of, important research for the province, and not only just, for the university.
That everything to do with your family?
Nothing to do with my family, no relation. But yes, the Harris Center closed down, as well as the Office of Public Engagement in the St. John's campus, and now that will be headed up by public engagement will be headed up by Grenfell. But the answer that Janet Morrison had about that was that they want to be publicly engaged in every aspect of what they do, not just from the specific office. But I thought she was a very competent person. I only had a quick interview with her, but I'm interested to see what will come, because I think that there will be some serious cuts of programming. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna see the university really tighten its belt, which is unfortunate. I think that there is a lot of talk of bloated administration, which I do think that they're the salaries are quite high. I think the president's salary is over $400,000, which is coming at a pretty similar maybe range for Canadian universities, but still very, very, very large. And then you have a lot of criticism about the VPs being, but at the same time, I think what the Memorial University is dealing with is a $68.4 million reduction of their budget. And a lot of that is coming out of the tuition offset fund, which was from the provincial government. And now Memorial is twice as expensive, $6,000 for domestic students now for a year of tuition, and $20,000 for international students for a year of tuition. So to me, I think Memorial comes from a history of having a very affordable university, and I think we were proud of that. The Quebec is a province that has the lowest tuition in Canada. They had it cheaper than Memorial University.
Are we paying for it?
Maybe with now this new MOU, in my opinion. But I think that what happened with this doubling of tuition is that we've gone from one of the more affordable universities to middle of the pack, and I think that that's not good enough. I think with the economic situation that we are in as a province, we need people going to school now more than ever. We have a massive shortage of nurses. We have a massive shortage of social work students. We have to have a highly educated population in order to stimulate our economy. And that's a pretty consistent, objective that has been lined out by things like the Dame Moya Green report. At the same time, that report decided to cut funding to education. They cut funding to CNA. They cut funding to Memorial University. So to me, it's like that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But I hope that there will be some change and more focus spent on Memorial University and not just completely cutting off its legs. I know there's going to be a town hall later this week hosted by Adam Walsh with the Signal, who was also a guest on your podcast. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a tuition protest on October 1st, organized by the Canadian Federation of Students and Memorial University's Newfoundland Student Union. So the Muse will definitely be out covering that. It's a lot really, heading into this provincial election. Students are going to try to make Memorial University an election issue, and they're going to try to make CNA and education an election issue. Whether that will be reflected in the polls is yet to be seen, but we at the Muse want to make sure that students' voices are heard, so we have got to cover it.
Speaking of the elections coming up, we got municipal and provincial elections coming up. We had a mayoral debate this past week. Did you attend that?
I did, yes. It's pretty interesting that we have both municipal and provincial elections at the same time. I believe the same thing happened in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, or I think 2021, actually. There's been so many elections, but 2021, there was also a provincial and municipal election at the same time.
A lot of signs.
Yeah, and it's a bit much. I think you go on the intersections and it's so confusing.
Up by the Arts and Culture Center, where they got them spread out in letters up there.
Yeah, that it gets tough driving around because I'm a political person. I like to see who's running for things. But then you have your provincial signs and your municipal signs, and you have municipal signs with provincial colors, and it gets kind of muddled in your head sometimes. Sure. And it's also a lot of for volunteers. If you're trying to have a campaign and you need a lot of volunteers, people are having to pick between volunteering. If you're really politically engaged, you might want to volunteer in a political campaign for both provincial and municipal, but you only have so many hours a week. And additionally, if you want to be a candidate for provincial versus municipal, you can only pick one. So to me, I think maybe if I don't know if it's possible, but I think that should be avoided in the future. Yeah. But back to the mayoral debate. That was definitely something. I think there was.
I heard that from some other people.
But yeah, it's a really interesting. I guess starting with the deputy mayor. So Sheila O'Leary, the former deputy mayor, she decided to actually run the provincial election this time. So she resigned as deputy mayor and is running for the provincial seat in St. John's East, Kitty-Vitty, for the NDP. And then running to replace Sheila is 3 candidates. There's one candidate who has already been in the municipal chambers. That is Ron Ellsworth. Mm-hmm. He was previously at large, I believe. I think he was at large, and now he's looking for a upgrade into deputy mayor. Mm-hmm. Then you also have Bianca Lono, who recently moved back to the province. And she's running a campaign that her slogan is, hire me for hire me for deputy mayor, which is she's looking at it as, would you trust your neighbor to run your personal finances is kind of her tagline. Yeah. And then you also have Rigel Penman. He's also running for deputy mayor. He seems to me to be kind of really into policy and into zoning regulations and interjurisdictional issues, and so that side of the debate was really interesting. You had a really big lots of back and forth and great discussion. On the other side of things, you had Mayor Danny Breen, who's been mayor since 2017, so he's been around for 8 years. Yeah. His big message to me, it seemed like he wanted a new deal vis-a-vis the province. So his kind of tagline was that in politics, the federal government has the money, the provincial government has the jurisdiction, and the municipal government has the problem. So he kind of sees municipal politics as something that depends on federal and provincial politics because they're constrained in the municipality is constrained in its budget and needs support for things like mental health and addictions from the province, which has the jurisdiction, and it needs also has a limited budget that it has to make sure that it doesn't go over. So they don't have the liberty of taking on debt as the province does, and they don't have the liberty of printing money, which the federal government does. So that to me, I think was interesting. Like, I think he, after 8 years of city politics, I think he wanted to come to voters with, this is my message, and that seemed to be the message. The other candidate, Ivy Hanley, she is one of the owners of Urban Market, and her and her partner are developers in the city as well. And she had a very strong message about cutting red tape for development, about she was very strong about the transparency in the municipal chambers, and she's really running a change campaign for people who are fed up with how things are going in the city of St. John's. So I think that's interesting to watch as well. I mean, I think last year Danny Breen had no competition for city mayor, so it's good to have some debate going as well. So that's interesting to see how that will play out. I know the vote is taking place on October 2nd, so that's pretty short time frame from now, and I already received my ballot in the mail. I think got to check your snail mail because you should have your ballot by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also a wide. I was also at the at-large debate, and there's a lot of candidates.
There's a lot of candidates for sure.
There's a lot of candidates, so I won't even try to go over all of them. But there's definitely a lot great debate at the at-large as well. There was also a Ward 2 debate, which also had a lot of candidates. and for independent media like ourselves, if we were going to have one guest on, we'd have to have all of them on, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to.
We're not covered by CRTC rules, so we can do whatever we like.
But say I wanted to have a longer interview, you'd want to, you'd want to have representation, but it's a bit. I did interview all of the at-large candidates and all the deputy mayor candidates and all the mayoral candidates. Actually, not all the at-large. I still need to get to a couple of those.
Yeah,
but we're hopefully going to be releasing those in short video form shortly.
Awesome. Now, John, you come from somewhat of a famous political family, of course. Your father, Jack, was a well-known politician. Now, my sister, Jill Bruce, is a well-known politician in Ward 1. And here you are, an up-and-coming newspaper man and in the media. And here I am also rising up through the media stakes. Now, I like to say that me and my sister are kind of Newfoundland, or St. John's' first family, She's kind of like a Danny. She's Ward 1, which I figure means she's a Danny Breen scandal away from taking over the mayorship, right? So now we have some. Well, I feel like maybe we're going to have some competition from your family from this first family thing. So maybe we'll have to have some sort of like mobster accord.
Well, I think that we might have to work something out there.
We might have to work something out.
Yeah,
I like it. I like that you're open to it.
I'm very open. We have to maybe just divide it up. You can have Ward 1.
I like that. I like that ward system.
I'll take 3, 4.
Amazing. Now, John, where can folks find you and the Muse on the internets?
You can follow us anywhere on Instagram. We're the Muse YYT. On Facebook, we're the Muse. We're on Reddit, the Muse NL. We're on TikTok, the Muse NL, and we're also on Letterboxd, Blue Sky, X. We
all over.
We're on Threads.
Wow.
we try to cover all our bases there.
Amazing.
But yeah, look for the Muse NL or the Muse YYT is our 2 names.
Fantastic. All right. Well, now a word from our sponsor.
How are we supposed to clear all that? We'll be here till spring.
Relax. I call SNOW AND MOW.
Wait, so we don't have to shovel?
Not a chance. They've got it all. The trucks, the crew, the works. We'll just stay warm.
Jeez, best call you ever made.
Don't get snowed in this winter. Our hardworking crews have you covered no matter how much snow falls. Keep your business accessible with our reliable snow clearing services. Book now to secure your spot today. We are thrilled to welcome our musical guest. She's a talented Acadian-Korean violinist from Halifax who's now based here in St. John's, Newfoundland. You can find her attending MUN in the Bachelor of Music program, online where she has a growing presence, and at performances with the Newfoundland Symphony Orchestra. Claire Boudreau, welcome to the Hulk Caesar Show.
Thank you for accompanying me.
What do you have for us first?
So this is going to be a Bach piece. It's from Sonata Number 2. And if you want to know something about this piece over here, they found all of his manuscript in a butcher shop, actually, first of all. So we have a love and hate relationship with this story because it's great that we were able to find this piece in, history, but also it's really difficult to play because you have to accompany yourself, and I hate double stops. So we'll see how it goes today.
Around when did he live?
It would be around the Baroque era, so probably about 300 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Very, very long time ago.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, when you're ready.
Thank you.
So good. It's like snake charm music. I'm just like so entranced by it.
Wow.
Amazing.
That was incredible.
So great.
I'm my best. Thank you.
Claire, what first drew you to the violin, and when did you know music was going to be your path?
Okay, so back when I was very young, I have a twin brother, by the way.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was the first reason why we did violin together, because my brother got put into it. But we were all living together with homestay students. So there were students from Korea, and they already were playing violin. And my brother was very interested to go start violin because as a kid, you want to always do the things that the grown-ups do.
Yeah.
And then I just got roped into it to just start playing it. And it eventually grew on me.
Amazing. How old were you when you started?
I was 4 years old, way too
Oh, wow.
way too long.
I was probably still sucking my thumb then.
Honestly, me too.
What's it like performing with the Newfoundland Symphony Orchestra? I think you have your first show coming up. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. We are playing the Dvorak 8, and oh my gosh, it's hard. But I'm playing first violin right now, and one thing you should know about first violin is that we always get what we call the notes, touching notes. So we're always playing right up over here, so you can touch your nose over there. I honestly find it really hard, and my back hurts all the time because I play all those high notes, but I think it's really rewarding. It's really rare to have these kinds of professional opportunities as a student, so I'm very lucky to be able to play for the symphony. It's great.
Amazing. Now you got quite the following on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
How has social media influenced you as a musician?
So social media these days is actually so important to the success of a musician because it's, well, now our way to promote our music. So especially back in the days, you would have agent to do it yourself, but these days you can actually be your own agent to do so. And that's actually why I started my social media account in the first place. So then I can have that experience not only to promote myself as a musician, but if I wanted to get a social media job at the end, that'd be acting as my CV.
What kind of stuff do you find you have to post? Like, do you post every day or?
I post when I'm not busy. So
You sound pretty busy.
yeah, I know. Like, especially these days, I feel a little bit stressed out because I have all this rep to do. And I only post really much when I have an idea pop in my head. So that'll either be probably in the shower, probably when I'm asleep, probably thinking about my other pieces I have to practice. But then, yeah, it just usually comes whenever I have inspiration. I don't have a set schedule.
Do you find your Acadian and Korean heritage influence your identity as an artist at all?
Oh, it sure does. Like, there's something about my upbringing that I think really valorized the arts. So in Korea, we take arts very seriously. And some people, they'll say, oh, you're a little bit intense. Oh, somebody's not going to have a childhood if you've worked so hard. But like, I am so grateful for the amount of dedication my mom pushed me to practice my violin. Of course, she was not like rough or anything, but she would give me the amount of organization necessary for a child to be able to practice consistently. And when I grow older, I still keep those values to hand. It's very Korean the way that I lead my practices. And also my Acadian identity. Music has always surrounded us. It always has been a social matter. And especially as an Acadian girl myself, we always had really much social economical problems with our community where it's really hard for us to enter these kinds of elitist spaces. So it's actually quite rare to have a classical musician with those kinds of settings. So I'm trying to maybe trailblaze that to show that, well, just because you are from a different social background, just because you have a different kind of cultural background, you're still able to get these kinds of opportunities like you have over here. Yeah.
What's your experience been like so far in St. John's?
Oh my gosh. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is the snow. Yeah. Like, okay, first time I came over there, and then when I saw the snow, it reached all the way to my chest over here. And I had my first lesson with my teacher. I think it was my first or third. And then we had to literally climb over a snowbank to get into the school. And I was like, oh my gosh, we look like dunces right now with our violin cases in the back. But that's the first thing I see is like, despite the weather, there's such warm people. People are always there to help you. And I was just like so shocked of the kindness because when I first came over here, I was like really petrified. This is the first time that I took a trip on my own. And then when I first went to the cafeteria, it was the Gershu Hall, I think that's called, or I'm so pronouncing that wrong. But anyways, I was just going to try to find my meal and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And then this dude was like, hey, you look lost. Can I help you? And I'm like, please. Yes, it's great. So everybody's so just apt to help. And I just was so grateful. It's what makes me have such a positive look at St. John's in general, the people.
Thanks to our friends at Snow and Mow, we have time for one more live performance. Claire Boudreau, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so I'm going to be playing a fiddle set. The first one will be the Steadicam jig, I meant. So that's where my dad's from, actually, so the north part of Cape Breton. And I will be playing St. Aidan's Reel after that, and Tamlin's, also known as the Glasgow Reel. We'll see how this goes.
Fantastic. Man, I'm got a real jam to it for sure.
That was awesome.
Amazing. Claire Boudreau, where can folks find you on the information superhighways?
So you can find me on Claire Boudreau, both on Instagram and on TikTok. So that'd be CLAIRE_BOUDRO.
And then where are you on MySpace? We're gonna let you.
No
don't worry, we'll let you get away with that one. Thanks so much, Claire. That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
It's now time to play everyone's favorite game of questions, Caesar's Casual Conversations with tonight's guests, John and Claire. Now we have refilled the commemorative E.T. the Extraterrestrial hat with questions. The AI has been picking our questions, as you've probably heard. Now we had 100 good ones, and then we had 100 bad ones, and then we asked it for 100 deep ones. We used those 1 week and they were terrible and everyone almost cried. So now these ones are retro questions. We asked the AI for retro questions. They've been pretty good. So you pull a question out. If you like it, you read it aloud. You give it a quick answer. We'll all give it a quick answer. If you don't like it, you don't need to read it out. You throw it on the floor and pick another one. So John, why don't you go first?
All right. Let's see. Okay, we have, what's a hilarious school memory you have? Well, back in school, I heard of this incredible opportunity to win a MacBook Air. So I went to Holy Heart. I graduated 2018. But in my last year or second last year of high school, there was a school milk Instagram competition. So I was really an early adapter to Instagram. I loved Instagram. I've been posting on Facebook and Instagram since they came out. Well, not Facebook. That's a bit too early for me. But when Instagram first came out, that was me. But School Milk Foundation had a contest on Instagram that if you posted a picture with yourself on Instagram with a school milk carton, you'd be entered in to a competition to win a MacBook Air. The catch was there was no limits for how many pictures you could put up. So I decided to post 87 pictures, different pictures of me with school milks on an Instagram account. And I think there was maybe 3 other entries. So at the end of the competition, I walked away with a MacBook Air.
Amazing. I thought you were gonna say one of the other 3 won.
That would be hilarious, but no, I did get that, and I use it to this day. It's still my daily driver.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Claire, you got one?
I think, it has to probably do with, I was walking in the basketball course. I think I was in middle school back in the days. And then I had a nice, beautiful dress on. And I was like, okay, I'm going to strut my stuff. I'm going to go walk in the basketball course right next to it. And then some dude who has like really, really poor aim tried to shoot at the basketball net. And then the net actually ended up being my nose. So I actually have like a deviated septum right now from the basketball that came over there. And yeah, sometimes I have a hard time breathing when I sleep, so I snore as well. So that's from the dude that threw the basketball, but I didn't dare tell my parents after because they would totally freak out, but it's good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'll give a basketball one too. When I was younger, maybe in high school, we went to see the Seahawks play one time, and one had those kind of pull-out seats, like the ones on the wall, and they pull out, like they're pull-out risers. And I had a chain on my wallet, and it got nudged in like where it moved a little bit, and it got caught in there, and something happened, and I jumped up the chair, and my chain shattered and went like all around the floor, and they had to stop the game and sweep up the chain.
Dang.
It's tragic.
That is hilarious.
I gotta pass the hat down there, John, and let her pick one there.
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, if you don't like the question, feel free to throw it on the floor and pick a new one. I do it all the time. I'm pretty much the only one who does it.
I'm a little nervous.
I swept up a lot of questions over here earlier today.
This one feels good. Let's take a look. Okay. Did you ever win anything off the radio?
Oh, boy. Did you?
I don't know if the newspaper counts. No, I don't think I won anything on the radio. On the newspaper, no. It was a Terry Fox run picture contest where you have to just sketch everything. So then I sketched a marathon with a bunch of people and like grannies looking off at like a hospital or something, like, yeah, you go run and stuff. And then I think I won like, I don't know. Oh yeah, a feature on the newspaper. That's what it was at the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
John?
For me, I funnily enough, I did just tell a story about winning something off.
Yeah, right.
I've never won off anything on the radio, but I remember back in 2018 or so, I went to the K-Rock Shed, and Chris Batstone was rocking the mic, and I got to request a song, and I requested All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix version. And that was kind of a win in and of itself, because I never actually called in to request a song before, so that was my very first experience doing that, and it's pretty satisfying to knowing how I influenced the radio that
culture of the times.
Yeah, exactly.
I know I'm notoriously lucky. My whole life I've been known as lucky. I'm the lucky person everybody knows. I always win things. And when I first moved out to Vancouver, XFM had started a new radio station, and I won so many things the first year that I lived there that they banned me from winning for a year.
Oh my God.
So then, because I had such a reputation for winning, we were sitting around on my balcony one day, and I don't know if you know Christopher Higgins. He's from here in St. John's. He lives in Vancouver. He was over visiting, and we were telling him about how I'd won so much on the radio this past year and how I always win. And he was like, oh, yeah, whatever. People win. And I was like, no, watch. Let's turn the radio on, and I'll win something. So we turned the radio on, and about 10 minutes later, they're giving away Holly McNarland tickets. So I pick up the phone, and I call in, and get in and win the tickets. He doesn't believe us at all. And then it comes over the radio, and the winner was Hulk Caesar.
Wow.
Must eat like clovers for breakfast or something. I don't know how you
on demand. It was amazing. It was a crowning moment in my life.
That is too good.
Let's see what we got here. Ooh, what song did you play when you were feeling dramatic? Oh boy. Now I grew up a poor, depressed and dark child. I had lots of darkness in me and sadness. So it was probably a combination of 9 Inch Nails, maybe Something I Could Never Have, with a little bit of Counting Crows, Round Here mixed into it. and maybe something off Pablo Honey. I was a sad little boy. John?
For me, I don't know. I think maybe more contemporarily, I've been really loving Callum Scott's version of I'm in the Corner, Dancing on My Own. Yeah,
Dancing on
corner
My Own,
version. And so I like to do that at karaoke.
Nice.
You know, it's nice, dramatic, vague kind of song that just kind of pulls at your heartstring in that, you know, high falsetto. So definitely love that version of Dancing on My Own.
Nice. Claire?
Okay, this is just gonna sound dumb with your two. It's gonna be a classical wreck. So, this would be Purcell's funeral music for Queen Mary's funeral. So it literally is like vocal music with like very somber, well, mostly brass that plays, and it actually played at the introduction for Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange.
You know what I was just about to say? I grew up on classical music because I had Stanley Kubrick's Clockwork Orange soundtrack when I was very young, and it had a lot of sped up kind of classical music on it. I still listen to it at least once a week, I'd say. Yeah,
the electronic music there is just like brilliant. And I first watched that when I was in high school and was like, oh my gosh, this Kubrick stereo, if I'm like wanting to burn the world and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to play this over here.
That was the first trans person I believe ever nominated for an Academy Award was for Clockwork Orange for the soundtrack.
Yes.
Wow.
I can't remember the person's name now. It escapes me.
Actually, I had a class today in music history, and we did talk about her in the class, and I was just like, she is like a trailblazer in the electronic music scene.
Michelle Mercy. Oh, I can't think of her name now. I can see it on the sleeve.
I can't believe I play music too.
All right. Well, that's been all the time we have tonight. John Harris, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for having me, Hulk.
Big thank you to Claire Boudreau for her amazing performance.
Thank you for inviting me.
We're going to get you guys to sign the show poster here, and we'll put it on the autograph wall. And here's your guest gift. You pass one down there, John, if you don't mind. Ooh. This is volume 3 of our show zine. It's scenes from my high school agenda. This one features a day in 1995 when I skipped school and went to the Avalon Mall and told people I worked for the Telegram and took pictures of them working. And I, for some reason, developed the pictures, and now they're in that book that you have there. So there's a little bit of history in there for you. Wow. And right in the middle, there's a little QR code. If you scan that, it'll take you to an online app that has songs that Emily's played on the show over the past year.
That is amazing.
Enjoy that. You can check us out at hulkshow.com, where you can find hours and hours and hours of us just talking to people about stuff. For John, Claire, the absent Emily, and myself, I'm the Hulkster. Thanks for watching The Hulk Caesar Show.